is a Highfield Patrol 660 in Rescue Orange. Now it's orange because it's been commissioned as a commercial boat for a special event application and dive charters, hence the big ladder. And that's one of the real cool advantages of all the entire Patrol lineup is they're designed as a professional commercial boat first, but can still be used as a recreational platform. The only difference is they just add more testing for those that are going to run it commercially. Now I don't know about you, Rescue Orange is screaming commercial application, but if you're a family and you've got some kids you want to loan the keys to, and you want to see where they are on the horizon, this might not be a bad color. Now, one of the big advantages of a lightweight rigid aluminum hulled boat is that you don't need a lot of horsepower. This boat weighs only 1,631 pounds by itself. Now you can equip it with a 200, but we also get tons of performance of a little 135. And with the price of fuel these days, to have the option for less power without compromising performance, well, that's a real advantage. As you can see, time to plane with the little 135 is in the 4-second range, in a fully fueled boat with 2 people and about 400 pounds of commercial gear. At 21 feet 4 inches long, the 660 will still fit in most people's garages. And with an 8.5-foot beam, you really do have a lot of space inside this boat. And that beam also provides stability when you're loading it up with a lot of heavy gear, such as dive tanks. So really the versatility of these boats is kind of the magic in the equation. Back at the dock, we take a closer look at some of the interior details on this 660. When you get into the 660, you'll notice right away how beamy it is. In fact, outside it's 8.5 feet. Inside, it still has plenty of room, even with the big 58-centimeter tubes. Now, one of the options in this boat is this rear bench seat, and you can see just how nice the double diamond stitching is. And this is really handy for passengers because it's one of the most comfortable spots of the boat to sit when there's a bit of a swell. And you get plenty of relatively dry storage. And of course, all of the hatches are typically held up on a stainless gas strut, so you don't have to worry about holding them up, especially in a seaway, or having them clamp down on your fingers. Now, in this particular boat, the customer optioned these jockey seats, which can limit storage. However, if you look, we've got room for 2 fire extinguishers, one in each seat, and there's even more room underneath the seats themselves. Now, it's not quite as much room as a bench seat, but at least you've got some storage for things you want to keep out of the wet. There are a couple of different consoles you can choose from, and this is the wider one with the larger windscreen, which I really like, especially when the winds are a bit cold. And this wide beam also gives you room to walk around the wide console on either side. And part of this big console is a forward-facing seat, which does open up for more storage. Again, on 2 gas struts to hold it open. And if that weren't enough, there's actually more storage under the front seat, and you don't even have to worry about putting your anchor there because there's a dedicated anchor locker all the way forward. Now, while this bollard is not standard, it is an inexpensive option, and look how handy it is for tying to anything you might need to tie to. Every single patrol boat is equipped with Nonskid. Now, here we have the standard 3M sort of commercial grade Nonskid, and this is the stuff you want to use if you're loading heavy gear like scuba tanks or compressors on board. However, most of them can be optioned with the EVA foam, which is a little thicker and much softer and nicer looking. It just doesn't stand up quite as well to heavy gear being slammed around as much on it. Highfield's also added a new spray rail to these hulls to prevent and deflect more of the spray away, so even though you've got big 58-centimeter tubes, you can still get a little bit wet. And that really does help sort of deflect and keep the spray down, making it a much drier boat. And these hulls also have big reverse chines and a few lifting strakes, so they provide plenty of lift. It also provides quite a bit of grip when you want to turn the wheel, so they really do turn well. And because they're so light, you can make that maneuverability happen immediately. Watch this. If you are looking for a boat you can be confident in, whether it's commercial or recreational, you really owe it to yourself to check out one of the Patrol series from Highfield.